At first, it was subtle, the way his name slipped to second place in palace briefings, the way photos once shared proudly became quietly omitted. Prince William, the heir, the son, the steady figure beside his father, was beginning to disappear from the center of the royal frame. Catherine noticed. Not with panic, with pattern. Her eyes, trained over years of public scrutiny and private resilience, caught it before anyone else did. It wasn't loud. It was calculated. Events William was meant to lead were quietly reassigned. His quotes, once highlighted in press releases, were reduced to footnotes. Camilla, the queen consort, stepped into those spaces, smiling, waving, speaking words that might have once been his. And somehow, it all appeared natural, seamless. But Catherine had lived long enough in silence to recognize when it was being used as a tool. She began to map it, on a calendar, in her mind. In the quiet between moments where truth often hides. It wasn't just a shift in duties. It was a slow, deliberate redirection of narrative. And William, loyal, dutiful, uncomplaining, bore it with grace. But grace, Catherine knew, was not the same as consent. The final moment came not in Parliament or palace. It came in a school auditorium. Charlotte was set to perform a small reading for a children's literacy initiative. The family had prepared quietly. William had cleared his schedule. Catherine had helped Charlotte practice each night, her voice soft with encouragement. The little girl had chosen her favorite poem. "I want to make people feel something," she told her mother. But on the morning of the event, a revised program arrived. Charlotte's name was gone. There was no explanation. Just a quiet replacement, and a new speaker announced, a representative from the Queen Consort's office. Catherine read it once. Then again. She didn't cry. She didn't flinch. She folded the paper and placed it on the table, her hand resting over her daughter's name as if to protect it from erasure. Later that day, Catherine arrived with Charlotte anyway. Not to demand, to witness, to reclaim presence. Backstage, she asked, gently but clearly, why the change had been made. The answer, wrapped in protocol, was simple. We were advised her presence might shift the focus. Shift it from whom? The silence gave her the answer. She walked to Charlotte, knelt beside her, and whispered, "You still know the words, don't you?" Charlotte nodded, and together they walked on stage. The audience didn't know the politics. They didn't see the revised scripts or the internal memos. They saw a little girl, brave and clear-voiced, and beside her a mother, still, certain, sovereign in everything but title. Somewhere in the back of the room, William stood, his hands folded, his eyes fixed only on them. That evening, no press release mentioned what had happened, but the photos told the story. And the silence afterward, from Camilla's office, from palace spokespeople, told even more. In the weeks that followed, something shifted back. Not loudly, but noticeably. William's schedule filled again. His image returned to briefings. His speeches were quoted in full. Catherine said nothing publicly. She didn't need to, because the message had already been delivered, not in anger, but in presence. She had saved him, not from scandal, but from erasure. And perhaps more than that, she had reminded the crown of something it had begun to forget. That power, when silent, is not absent. It is simply waiting for the moment it must be seen. And when it is, when it walks on stage with a child in a whisper, it rewrites everything. Without permission, without noise, and without fail.